Hello, I'm Sergeant Cologne, and I'll be giving a block of instruction on properly reading and filling out a 5988 Echo, which is an equipment maintenance and inspection worksheet. 5988s are used to annotate faults and parts needed for your vehicle. 5988s are filled out during your PMCS process, which is conducted in the 6 segments. You have your before, during, and after, weekly, monthly, and annually. When you receive your 5988s on Maintenance Mondays, you'll be given 2 copies, one for your vehicle and one for your JCR. Moving on to our vehicle 5988, you have your admin information. So you have your admin number, which in our instance is Bravo 21. You then have the model, which is XM1256, which is for the Striker. Equipment noun is light armored vehicle. You then have your current reading, which is 15,987 miles. Your serial number, which can be found right in front of your engine bay hatch. You have your equipment number, equipment NSN, and your current reading, which is how many hours your vehicle has been driven. You then have your 3 publication numbers, which you can reference for your vehicle. You then have your signature and date and timelines, which will be filled out by your NCOIC after the mechanics have verified the 5988. Service data dictate or annotates the annual service date requirements. Moving on to faults and parts requested. So you have 5 segments here. You have notification, tech status, notification date, fault description, and work order. So in the notification section, you have your NINs, which are National Item Identification Numbers. Basically an NSN number for your vehicle and parts. You then have your tech status, which you'll see, you have some slashes right here. The 3 fault codes you would put in here are slash, which indicates a fault that does not prevent the equipment from being operated. X indicates a deadline fault that prevents or interferes with the safe operation of the equipment. E indicates a safety deadline. And there also is something called a circle X, which the commander is the only person that can authorize that tech status. Moving on, you have your notification date, which annotates the date it was notified on that part or fault. Fault description gives a brief description on faults, or as you can see, you have alert dispatch and gunnery when this vehicle was dispatched. You then have your work order number. For your fault descriptions, you have your PRI, which is priority, and you have 3 of those, which you go from 2 being immediate, you have 5 and 12 being routine. Request date, which was when the part was requested. Quantity ordered, unit of measure, quantity on hand, and then the issue date if the part was issued, which in this instance the battery storage and wire harness branched have not been issued yet. If you look down over here, for the antenna support sleeve, magazine cartridge, and retaining straps, you have their PRI for the priority, which is a 5, which is in between. You have the request date, the quantity ordered, units of measure, quantity on hand, and as you can see, these 2 parts were issued on May 22nd, 2019, and they got both what they requested for the sleeve antenna support and the strap retaining. All right. Moving on, you have the other page of your vehicle 5988. It has all the same admin information and previous parts ordered. This is the main thing. You would have your dash 10 with you. You would then conduct your PMCS and go through, and I have 4 faults that I found while PMCSing. So the first one I found was a casing collector bag was missing. So what you then will do is write down the item number that's in the dash 10. You will put the fault date and the tech status. Slash meaning indicates a fault that was not preventing the equipment from being operated. Now this piece of equipment is as simple as ordering it. Vehicles can still be operated. And then you would have corrective action, which is what the mechanics will fill out once they replace the part, and then they will initial it. The next fault I found was driver's hatch lock does not engage, hatch stay device does not function. So that was item number 25, and I put an E for safety deadline because you do not want that hatch to fall on the driver's head and potentially injure or kill that soldier. You then have driver's seat does not lock in place, shear pin is broken. I also put a safety deadline on that tech status because the driver needs a proper working seat to be able to properly drive that vehicle. And the fourth and last fault I found was handheld fire extinguishers were all discharged. And that is also a safety deadline because you need fire extinguishers, obviously, to put out any fire that starts in the vehicle. And another thing to keep in mind for maintenance faults that can be corrected on the spot do not need to be annotated on your 5988 Echo, i.e. adding fluids, replacing bulbs, or adjusting door hinges. Faults such as cracked hoods or chipped paint that will not impair operation also do not need to be annotated. And that concludes my block of instructions on properly filling out and reading a 5988 Echo.